Welcome to the live show. It's been a whole 20 days since I've seen you guys. It's been a weird time. I've been absent and I'm sorry. Things that have been going on. The last ride I took for the year, I ended up tweaking my shoulder. That was the last video that I put out, and I retweaked my shoulder, and it first off, the way that it happened, it pissed me off. So I really didn't feel like doing anything, um, because the trail that I was on shouldn't have been in that condition. And I'm glad I bailed on it when I did. It probably would have been a lot worse. But that brings me around to, I thought it may be a little serious, so went to have it checked out. But before I did that, I went down the road of WebMD, which you should never do, but just things to look out for just in case I really tore something and I needed to uh, have surgery. So I go down the road of WebMD and everything from a simple sprain to a torn rotator cuff, stuff like that, right? And none of that surgery itself doesn't scare me, right? But just the idea of the where I ended up at were people that uh, rode bikes, motorcycles, basically having bike accidents, either getting hit by cars, freak accidents, the whole nine, and people having surgeries. It's the surgery part wasn't the part that scared me. It was the post-op things. And the whole idea of being on some sort of pain medication kind of, at first it didn't really bother me, but and mind you, a lot of the references that I am making points from were things that happened years ago before the government, 2 years to be exact, but still in the time frame, government cracking down on making sure that doctors aren't over prescribing opioids. And this, I promise you, this video isn't a downer video. But hey, Chris, how you doing? The At the end of the day, the video mostly, and the stories all looped around the same. People getting addicted because the doctors were trying to manage the pain by prescribing more drugs. The issue with them prescribing more drugs, they never had a plan on how to get them off of the drugs. So that's where the struggle comes in. Opioid addiction, it's real. Withdrawals hurt, and people are trying to make the pain stay away. So they keep using. Beginning, end, done with that. But really, this video is about how we ended the year. When we brought this year in, what did we think we were going to be doing? We had goals. We had our goals, we had our resolutions, and it's like, so where are you guys at in your resolutions? Have you given up 20 days in? That's a question. I haven't given up. I didn't, but again, I don't have resolutions. I just have goals. Uh, and these goals, I have to hit. It's just to move forward. Uh, 500-mile riding, my 500-mile ride, that's still 500 miles of riding is going to happen. And I'm making pretty good progress on it. And I found my passion for really making videos again. So if you go back to my earlier videos when it seemed like I was actually having fun and creating videos, that's all coming back in my latest um my latest videos. For whatever reason, uh, for how last year went, and probably just go back like 2 years of my sporadic video putting out. I was putting out videos just to put out videos, and I wasn't really happy with them. But man, I'm back. I'm feeling pretty good. 2020 was an MF. It's over. 2021 started off with a bang, literally, and we're just moving forward with overall positivity, moving forward. The van project definitely in the works. Uh, Me touring the US is definitely in the works. That's all I want to say about that. But this year and going forward, it's going to be great. I'm not getting any younger, so I'm not wasting any more time on any of that types of things. So I have a couple videos coming out of the upgrades that I am doing on my rad. Of the next video that I have coming out, uh I blew out my I think I spoke about this before. This was my front caliper. It's a June Tech hybrid hydraulic. Got a whole video about this, more or less. I was doing some downhill and I blew this sucker out. I think I've been having issues out of this one for a little while. The reason why the front brake had such a high squeal, I think the piston was already leaking and it was leaking on the rotor, and that's why I was having so many issues. Well, going downhill, I was out. When I say downhill, I was going down a what is called a moderate trail in can't even think of what part of Missouri I was in, but it's Lost Valley. It's the trailer that I've been putting out teasing you guys with like it's going to be a blockbuster movie. Hey Tom, how you doing? I'm good. I hope you're doing good as well. Uh, I've been putting out that trailer like it's going to be a blockbuster movie, but it was actually great. Uh, Things that I never thought I would be doing. It is downhill riding. I never thought that I would. Uh, E-biking has taken me from regular cycling and regular camping to combining that into one activity would spun into another activity that I never thought I would do. If you haven't gone and ridden your bike on a rough trail, it is great. Something that I always forget to say, I live on the edge a lot. Um, and I always recklessly promote you guys go out and gals go out and do the same thing. That's not necessarily something you should do, but it's not something you shouldn't do, but don't take it from me, and it's no peer pressure unless you want to do it. Um, Let me know in the comment section how e-bikes have changed your life, especially getting older, getting having certain injuries. How is e-bikes really affecting the way that you get around now? Did it give you a second win at life that you didn't think that you would be doing right now? I know me. I thought for a while the way that my knees were feeling, I thought that I was going to have to give up camping in the backcountry sites because after about 10 miles my knees would flare up. I'm not a big drug taker, so I didn't want I have a great orthopedist, and he he prescribed me some sort of anti-inflammatory that would help with my knees, but I, it's, it's just something about having to take this drug. 2 times a day for the rest of however long. That just wasn't sitting well with me. And riding a bike, I don't worry about my knees that often. Charlie horses, on the other hand, they're my new favorite, because I get those a lot, especially if I ride like if I do like a hard when I'm doing downhill type stuff, those trails are very intense. And I often, if I get like a long trail that's like 10 miles and I try to hit it more than once, I usually have some cramping issues. And I'm learning that I'm not eating enough. That's great, Tom. Yeah. So, and that's a great point. As we get older, uh, as we get older, being in relationships, being around someone long enough, you got to do something to kind of spice it up. And buying an e-bike could get you there. Tom, if you missed it, I don't know when you jumped in, but I have gone full hydraulic on the rad, and best decision I ever made. Uh, it's great. You should have told me to do so often. That's right, Chris. You less injuries. You feel a lot better. You get to ride on those trails that you used to walk on. You get to you get to see more of the scenery. And with that being said, take the time. You can move at a great speed, right? Take the time to actually enjoy what you are seeing. You could actually stop, sit on one of those benches out there, and enjoy your surroundings, and then ride off again. Because you can, especially there's Spanish Lake. That's one of the parks, one of my favorite parks to do. And it's close to my subdivision, so it's a like a 4 mile ride or so, and then the loop itself is 2 miles. I ride it a lot, but you can ride on, especially we're all e-bikers here, so I think we're all e-bikers here. Do we got some of these manual people sneaking in on us? We got some turncoats in our midst. Uh, on an e-bike, you can do miles pretty quick. So when I was on the last trip that I was on, I got off track. I got off track 2 miles really quick, but I made those 2 miles up really quick. So e-bikes, you can get pretty lost. Mm, you can get pretty far with less energy pretty quickly, and that's why this summer I'm going to do the entire Katy Trail. I'm going to pick up another battery for the Red. I think I can do it. Um, I think I can do that. Most people do it in about 3 days. I think I can do it in 3 days easier. And they pump, there's a couple days where they're doing 30 miles, then another day where they have to do 60. I think I could do an average of probably, I don't know. We'll document it and find out. I would hate to say I'm going to do X amount of miles and then all of a sudden, I quit halfway through because I'm some sort of a punk. Which, which one earlier I was thinking about all the trips that I have, and one thing that I always come back to, I have the same exact feeling, no matter if I'm on my bike, and I'm talking about when I'm camping or I'm doing something that's long distance, or have a good distance, and I'm pretty far away from home. I have the same feeling 5 minutes in every time. And that feeling is, why did I do this? Why am I out here? And then I look behind me and I'm like, well, I'm too far this way to turn back now, so might as well just keep going forward and get through it. And 20 minutes in, I see something that's just like, wow, I never thought I would see that. And that's one of the beautiful things of how e-biking has changed my life, especially like going on these rougher trails. The rad really isn't made for it, and a lot of the economy e-bikes really aren't made for it. But there are some rougher trails that you can get on, and mm, it is lovely. It is something to really enjoy while you can. If you can get out there, man, just get out in nature on your bike. I know it's the winter time now. Touching on what this time of the year, don't let the cold weather don't let the cold weather keep you in. A lot of us have spent a good amount of money for our bikes. I don't know what your riding style is, or how often you get to ride it, but unless the weather conditions are poor, ride. Just ride. I've been getting comments. I've been getting comments, and I really need to start reading those off. But I get some great comments on people that I have inspired to ride in different conditions, and they enjoy it. They actually love it. You won't know what you're into until you do it, and if you try it once and you don't like it, don't do it again. Most of you guys are going to be like me. You're going to do it. It's going to suck, but then you're not a quitter, so you're going to do it again, and then you're going to figure out where you went wrong or how you could have enjoyed it a little bit better. You're going to do it, and you're going to love it, and because that's the type of community that we are. And I've been like, this is more of a, hey guys, happy New Year, enjoy my rant. I am your salvation from everything crazy in the world. Yes, yes, yes. If you're in the US, you know that today is a big political day and you're probably tired of hearing about it. And I am your salvation. Come with me into the light. Let's talk about what you're going to put on your bike. Oh, I know this is also the time of the year when you're thinking about everything you want to put on your bike, everything that you want to do to your bike. Don't go out and buy more than you need. Don't go out and don't spend good money. Buy quality over quantity. So, and Tom, you would probably agree with me on this. Buy whatever you're looking at, make sure that you buy it once. There are plenty of us influencers out here that have already been through the trial and error. And we are here to guide you on your purchasing decisions. With that being said, I have my Amazon links to everything that I have used. I don't have there are very few items that I have not personally used in my links. And the things that uh I I have not used, this was probably a cheaper component that I purchased for the bike to hold something odd, and there was a cheaper option of it, so that's why I have that out there. But I believe in buying quality. I believe in buying as much as you can afford, because that's going to be your better value. And if you're afraid of spending a lot of money, look at some of the dumb things that I have bought, and if I change, and if I change it out, I will let you know. There's with the red, there's only one thing that I actually bought that I regret, and that is my first Toe Peaks rack. Uh, the first, it's just a rack. The bag I'm in love with. The bag, the trunk itself, I still use because it's a trunk and it still has panniers. So so that one is great. Just the rack, the way that the rack was made, in the next evolution, it didn't fit my lifestyle anymore. The panniers themselves on the trunk a little too small. I wanted to keep things off of my handlebars or minimize what is on my handlebars and put more in my saddlebags or panniers or panniers, depending on who you're talking to. But with that being said, that original rack that I had, where the panniers connect, or yes, where they connect, mount on, worked perfectly, but the trunk was no longer useful. So the rack that I am currently using allows me to put my panniers on that are made by Orpley. Something coming soon, so I can walk you through my Orpley um, city. What are back rollers? Classics. Yeah, back roller classic. So I have those coming out, and it's a really great. Those are some really great lanyards. If you are a rad person, they are cheaper than what you would get for the rad, and I believe the measurements say that it's bigger, but the measurements overall say that the panniers are bigger than rads, but rad said that it's the equal uh capacity. I don't know if that's to be true or not. I just thought that rad was a little overpriced uh for what you can get. Of course, the Reds were branded, and they have to mark it up a little bit to get a little bit of money. Or bleep, literally, it's a German company that has backpackers, bike packers going all over the world, literally. So that is why I went with the Orpleys. They have a high reputation and a great warranty. Um, Guys, let me know in the comments, what is the worst purchase you have gotten for your bike so far? What you got? I'm gonna give you time to think about that. And also, while you're in here, if you haven't done so already, smash that like button. Uh, I am also putting my website back together. The link is actually at the top of on my channel, and I should have thrown it up on the screen, but it is boogienn.com. Once again, boogienn.com. On on that site, you will have I will have more trip data, which will be maps, certain locations where I found things like water holes, um, springs, if they have restrooms, what type of conditions the trails were in. I'm really documenting my life right now when it comes down to that. Uh, because I want people to get out and ride more, especially people that are in Missouri or thinking about coming to Missouri. Since I'm touching places, uh, well, actually, I'm going towards the middle of Missouri, so it just depends, I guess, where you're coming from. And Missouri actually has some great places to ride, and I never knew this. All trails. if you invest in that app, it is a annual fee for this app, but it tells you all of the places where you can ride your bike, all of the places where you can ride your bike, and what type of conditions. And I use that term loosely because I use that app for the trail that I retweaked my shoulder on. So, but you can use this app to find places that are close to you. Short rides, long rides, moderate rides, easy rides. They have it all. And don't forget also in 2020, um, BLM land became available for e-bikers except for certain sections where uh, they say that you can't ride the bikes on for for many reasons. The biggest thing about that, I went through it, but I'll say it again. The description for you to be able to ride, or definition, in order for you to be able to ride your e-bike on BLM land, is that it needs to have working pedals, and the motor can be no bigger than, they say 700, but basically it needs to be a class 2 bike. Class B bike, is that right? Class 2. So it can't go over 20 miles an hour. Basically, it needs to be street legal. Okay, any e-bike that go in America, in the US, any bike that goes over 20 miles an hour is not street legal in the US. And that's not coming from me. That's actually what your e-bike laws, and that's pretty much across the board what I've found so far. 20 miles an hour. That's why when you look at Rad, it's 20 miles an hour. You look at the bikes that you get off of Amazon, 20 miles an hour, and that's it. Now, Juice Bike, hey Tom, what is the top speed for Juice Bike? I understand that, Tom. You keeping it as close to stock. But you got what type of, so you just put a seat post on there, huh? Not bad, not bad, not bad. I started off that way too, and then all of a sudden I wanted my bike to be able to jump over mountains. Wow. Yeah, buying bad adapters and stuff like that. Yeah, been there. So with so okay. So with the pedal assist with the red, throttle only, it only does 20. I've been able to get up to, I think I've gotten the red up to about 26, 27. Now, I actually have it documented. I can tell you what that is, and I got it up to right around that. So, but if it's only the throttle, Tom, is the juice bike, is it stamped class B, or is it well, if it's only 20, then it's a class B, but confirm that for me so I'm not putting out bad information there. Yeah, Chris said he left his bike stock. Just put him. What did you put on there? You got you a suspension seat post. Got a new seat, suspension seat post, some tire liners. So I put tire liners in my bike, and I'm not sure. I got the Mister Toughies in my bike as well. Not sure if I I'm not sure Sometimes I think that those the liners in my tires make on lower pressures have me makes it feel funny as far as reaction time hitting bumps. I'm not really. It's almost like I need to take it out. I know that at certain times I can see how it. I can see it deforming when I'm riding over certain things. I can definitely see that, and I'm not sure if I know it adds weight to the bike, and maybe it is saving me a little bit. I don't know, uh, but I definitely I know I didn't put slime in it. I never put the slime in it. I was always afraid of if I had a big enough tear in my inner tube, uh, I felt like patching it may become an issue with the slime in it. So I bought slime, but I never put it in the tire, in the inner tube itself. So I may regret that, and I may do that when I do the Katy Trail. The Katy Trail is supposed to be, I it's all rideable as far as I know, and it's either gravel or paved. It's a well-traveled bike uh, thing. So maybe that's where I will do there. Thinking about just documenting everything that I want to achieve this year. My goal, another goal, is that I want to motivate people. I want to find more people in Missouri to ride with. One, two, I want to be able to um give lay out a blueprint for people that are traveling through Missouri that may have, you know, a few hours to kill and they want to, hop off their bike and hit a trail really quick. That's my goal. So be sure to check in with my webpage, boogienn.com. Also, your support is really great, comment wise, sharing wise, and also when you guys purchase things through Amazon, my affiliate links, those you guys have really kept me going with getting certain things and helping put out content. I really appreciate you guys. I don't say it enough, but there's no boogie without my people pushing me further, commenting, giving me suggestions, and I made some foolish mistakes, but hopefully I made those foolish mistakes so you don't have to. Tom comes back with it's only it's a class 2 bike, 20 miles an hour. Yep, that's where we're at. Hey Chris, have you ever gotten have you ever had a flat with has something poked through your liner, and if it has the slime stop the leak? I funny story about slime. So I know that slime does work. I'm just asking what your experience with it is and what the liners, if you ever had, and Tom, you as well. I've only had one flat on my bike, and that was before I put anything in there. It was like 3 days after I bought the bike. I ended up with a nail riding to the park, um, because I was an idiot. I was the idiot that went across the white line that where all of the across the white line, to stay out of traffic. So and there's all sorts of, that's where everything blows off to, gets swept off to. So I ran across a nail. So I ended up in a nail in my rear tire, and I was at the park, and I was stuck there for a while till I got evac'd out. Chris, no flats. No flats. Yeah, I only had one flat. But here's a cool slime story. Older car had a cracked rim that could not find the rim for a reasonable price, and it was an older car. It was 92 Cadillac Sedan Seville or something like that. Sedan DeVille, and had a cracked rim. Couldn't find a rim to match. Tire kept losing air. Of course, aluminum rim cracked. Cost too much to fix. Put slime in it, and believe it or not, that tire, we still have the car. That tire still holds air, and it is the only tire that has never lost air. True story. True story. So, guys, that is my life in a nutshell. And so, guys, I was reading the last of the comments there. So, uh, really enjoyed you guys hanging with me today. Remember, live life one trail at a time, and I will see you next Wednesday.